Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm Liberal 12th Man, as much as you are as well, because we are all the 12th Man. And we are here to do a preview of the Liverpool game against, obviously, Nottingham Forest. I have also some others that will be joining us pretty soon. JK will be on a little bit later on, and I believe Brian will be on a little bit later as well. Possibly Nolante, and hopefully we get to see Lee. We haven't seen Lee in a little while. Hopefully Lee is okay. If not, we always wish you the best, Lee. But hopefully we get to see Lee on this preview, and hopefully we get to see and hear from you in the comment section, because listening to being on YouTube, the YouTube verse, I guess you could call it, right? Is that what you would call it? I don't know, but if that it is certainly a place where sometimes it seems like dreams go to die. I guess you could put it, because there are some miserable people out there in YouTube land. And geez, sometimes it's just like there's a lot more in life that is worth appreciating. And yeah, it helps when you have friends and fellow Reds, especially, to help remind you of that. And that is something that we have to talk about a little later on. But I believe that we are going to be I believe we are joined by Brian right now. I think he's getting his microphone set, maybe making sure that Coco is strapped in and ready to go as well. Brian, you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't have headphones, so I'm just going
okay.
up to that.
Okay. Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Yeah. Big up to everyone that's joining us. I see that we have a few people in the chat already, which is pretty cool. Definitely means you have your notification bell put on and that you join us just to show the support, true Red style. To be, I'll tell you, Bri. It's sometimes I see our fellow, I should say, content creators out there that represent, our beloved team, and I see them on these big platforms, and sometimes the comments and the things they say, I wonder. It makes you want to say. I guess you guys say over there, go take. You need to take your head for a wobble or something, right? Because it's just one of those things where I'm just like, sometimes I wonder. I'm like, are these guys really? Do they like our team, or is it just like something that gives them a platform to talk about just something in general? Because sometimes, oh my goodness. Big up Cedric, big up John Conway. Definitely big up. Proper Reds for sure. Yeah, because I heard what I was speaking on is that I heard Tom Little say after there was a Spurs guy talking, and he was talking about how Nunez scored the goal last year for us, and against Forest, the team that we're going to be facing, a team that's doing well, possibly doing overly well than what a lot of people expected them to do. And he goes, yeah, thank God Nunez is suspended. And I was like, what? Why would you say that? Like, I don't understand. Why would you want like us to have like less players to be available? And it was just like I clipped it up. So I mean, I want to make sure I said I definitely get it all right. But it's weird that like sometimes people's like, I think that this whole Nunez thing has gone so far to the left that is to the point where these people they can't go. And I know I'm doing the same somewhat, but they can't go without mentioning this guy's name in some disparaging style of tone or wording. Like to go as far as to say, oh, I'm glad that he doesn't play. He's not going to be available for the team to play, is like mind-blowing. I don't even understand that. We need everyone. We need all hands on deck. We got to get through this like run to get to the finish line, and we'll need every Red that can contribute. And then you hear like just asinine statements like that. I'm just like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are you even saying? But I digress. I'm sorry. I sorry for the rant. You know, yeah. It's to the point, and I understand. It's to the point where, like, you know what? I don't. It hasn't worked. Maybe so for it hasn't worked because for whatever reasons. But and Trudon's right. I mean, at this point, I don't even want to bring him up. I don't like talking about him per se, only because, like, unfortunately, for a player that has brought some very good memories, for a player that does give his absolute all, like 100%, like gives everything he can for the team, for his teammates. You know, a player that's beloved by a lot of the match going fans, beloved by some of us as well that are in the verse here, and for a player that obviously has some issues that he's trying, or some issues that he's trying to work out. It is one of those cases that, like, I almost want to see him in a better place where he might be more beloved or might be more appreciated fully and wholly. But I think it is. I still, at the same time, I think that it is a negative, a true like negative towards our, I want to say character, but our image, I guess you could say, out there. In that, like, as in we always, I always remember that Liverpool has always had this image of you'll never walk alone. Like we always support our own. We support our own. If you wear a red kit, hey, that's all we need. Just go out there, give us everything that you can on the pitch, and we will definitely support you. And the likes, but it just seems like it's just so like fickle with some of the fan base that, like, if they don't like you, even though you're a red, they're still on some like we're gonna say nasty names about you, disgusting things. And it's not just our fan base alone, because I mean, like, I saw what they're doing to Havertz in like the Arsenal fan base, and that's just like absolutely abominable. Some of the things that they're saying about like his family and everything else, and it's like, it's sometimes it makes you go like, you know, we can dial it back and get a real sense of, like, you know, family and true Reds culture, I think. And I think that's important to never really lose base on. So, like, it's just weird. It's just weird when I hear statements like that, though, by some of the fan base. And it kind of hurts my heart a little bit, because, you know, like, I would go out of my way for another Red, you know. I would also go out of my way I would hope that they would do the same for me. But, and I honestly do believe that, but then you see these kinds of acts and it kind of makes you like question it. And I've never ever questioned the sentiment of a Red, but you hear more and more of the type of, again, visceral comments and demeanor and tone from some parts of it, and it makes you like, it really takes a lot out of you. So, but this channel is uniquely blessed to have people like yourselves. I see Red Armchair Supporter. I see Philly Liverpool FC in the house. I see Cedric in the house. Trudon, John Conway, the others that haven't really chimed in yet. I don't know if they're watching or not, but, like, you know, Bernie, Dara, just like the many names that are out there, Marianne. There are some real good people out there, and, like, you guys really make a real big part and factor in why Liverpool is special, at least to me. I really do believe that. So big up to you guys in the chat. Big up to those that support the channel. big up to those that are supporting the channel simply because of those same you know, like beliefs and principles. And big up for Red for Life for two. Big up Red for Life. I see you in the house. But
the only thing I'll say about that quick is that the whole "you'll never walk alone" thing is just a slogan.
Yeah,
it's just a slogan, and people use it when it suits them.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's something that it's basically, if you're the kind of person that would be like that, you'd be like that anyway. But if fans have taken it anyway, if any person has ever taken that and sort of use it as a way to get through their life, cool, awesome. You know, I applaud that. You know, it's just some people just need to hear certain things a certain way, and they think, yeah, that's a good way to be or whatever. That's cool. But when it comes to fans and players, you'll never like. I think who said it there? Yeah, Cedric. It's sometimes it feels like you'll never walk alone unless it's the second you even suggest an interest in playing for somebody else, you can walk alone right now.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, now some people, like Lee always says when he's on here, that he'll support him as a Scouser wherever he goes and whatever he does. He won't be cheering for him to beat us or anything, but as a Scouser, he'll support him, that kind of thing. But a lot of people, man, "you'll never walk alone" is just a hashtag that they use. It's just something to them. It's just 4 words that they don't really mean anything to them.
Yeah, don't resonate.
Yeah, like if you use it, but that's between fans. There is something like that. Cool, all fans have their bond, but that's never existed between players and fans. It's always like that stuff goes back more to the back in the day when there were fewer players and there were fewer transfers and people didn't often leave that much. But, it really is something that people will say it when like when they want to use it, but not when one of their somebody just says something bad about Liverpool or decides they want to leave Liverpool.
Yeah, no, I get it. I always speak about the Shankly quote about, like, basically, saying, if you can't support me when we lose or draw, don't support me when we win. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but still, like, a lot of that is like kind of the beauty of what I've always found in Liverpool, and at least the whole idea of what it stands for, and the us against the world concept, and often it seems like it's just that some people just don't care about that. They're just about themselves. And that's where that's where I think the disconnect is for me. Because I do honestly care about others. Like, if I saw another red getting, bullied or whatever, I would stick up for that red. Certainly, I would hope that they would do the same. But often it seems like people want to, take their visceral contempts and anger out at on each other, and that's just not the Liverpool that I appreciate and want. But to each their own. But we keep up the good fight. We definitely keep up the good fight. This is Anfield. Yes, I know. Definitely. Actually, you can't see it, but I have that. I have my poster behind me. We're here for a preview, though, of something that we all hopefully will be in unison on, in that we want to see our Reds definitely get a little bit of, I guess you could say, a little bit of, like, get those points back that I think were stolen from us. Last time we went up against this club at Anfield, they ended up getting a 1-0 victory over us. It was, at the time, our only loss of the year. We now have 2, one in the cup and one here in the league, and still remains as our only loss in the league. What in the beginning of the year where did you see Forest ending up, Brian? And tell us in the chat too. Did anyone really have Forest on their radar as being someone that would be, a real competitor this year?
Uh, I had them not getting relegated, basically.
Okay.
I had like there was because there'd be a lot of people when they were doing their predictions, they were throwing them in. I was like, no, I don't know what's going to happen with the manager. I thought he'd be the first guy to go,
Mhm.
just because the owner is a bit unpredictable. Maybe if he hadn't had such a good start, he would have gone after 5 or 6 games. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I basically had them like anywhere from like 15th to 17 kind of thing. But I just thought they were good enough to stay up. Like a lot of people were, or some people were picking to go down. I was like, nah, they're too good to go down, but they're not going to be. Yeah, but not in Europe, but not relegated.
Right.
So in that little group there is what I would have put them in there somewhere. Yeah, maybe they had some good players, but I thought they only had maybe 2 or 3. Nobody saw Chris Wood happening.
Yeah. No.
Like if anybody out there said I fancy him to have a great season, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone had Chris Wood as their starter in fantasy football, from the game, if you had like one of those like draft, especially if you have one of those like draft style, and if he was your first, forward that you took off the table, kudos to you, and definitely kudos to your crystal ball, because not many of us had that picked at all. He has done very, very well for himself this year, with a coach that some people definitely had not doing well, possibly being one. I forget where we had him in our. Remember, we did our.
I had him first.
Oh, you had him
I
first.
had him
I
first.
didn't. I didn't bring that up just to put you out there. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
But I've mentioned it already a few times. But I didn't have it. The reason I said it is not because of really anything to do with
Oh, because
Nuno.
of the
It's
owner.
just that owner is just crazy.
Yeah.
He's trigger happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, if any club is going, like, they give people a little bit more time these days, but he's one of those guys that will sack someone after 4 bad games.
Right.
That's really wasn't really at and about Nuno. Nuno did a great job at Wolves.
He did. He did.
Similar size club, similar budget.
He did enough. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say enough that he got a call up to be the coach of a top 6, Big 6 team.
Yeah, it lasted about 5 minutes, as so often happens.
I know.
Then he went out
shame.
to Saudi, fell out with a few players over in Saudi, didn't go very well. I think he won the league, but I think he fell out with a few players, it didn't go brilliantly anyway. He's come back, and yeah, I don't think anybody, even the most optimistic Forest fan, would have had them any higher than like 11th.
Yeah, no doubt. It's kind of it's we were talking about when Reds, because I know it's funny, we all talk about loyalty. We want loyalty from these players, we want loyalty to the club, we want loyalty, but we don't necessarily always demand the same loyalty back to certain players. But all the same, there is a player that I respect. I wish him the best and wish him well, and that is Nico. He's doing his doing business over for Forest. Is a player that was at some point was I know I'm probably glitching up a little bit here because I have let me see if I can get this done real quick. Am I glitching up, Brad?
Yeah, not bad, but
am I
pretty bad?
I think I am. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me close this window then. Okay. Hopefully that is better. What I was saying is that at one point I was like
yeah.
I got you. Max Hedrum. Wow, that's a shout. With Nico, there was definitely, he at one point was the deputy, and if not, loosely putting maybe the heir apparent to Trent Alexander-Arnold at that right back position, but he's gone on to obviously Forest to make his claim there. What is it that you think is a player other than what is a player that we should keep an eye on? Because it was interesting. Arnie brought this up in his presser, and it's maybe something that he's more mindful of this time around, and that is how Forest brought their wingers on, but they didn't start their normal wingers that they would have started the game with. They held them back to be subs in that game. And then they had a little bit of an extra kick at the end of that game to go up against our back line and really keep us on our toes somewhat. Are there some players on this team, on this Forest team, that have really emerged as being players that we're going to have to really keep our sights on and not underplay or underestimate?
I don't think any of their danger men have changed really. The same guys that were going to be a problem for us the last time we played and ended up being a problem for us. Morgan, Gibbs, White.
Right.
The player they didn't have then, which was come back in, is Danilo. Mid-center midfielder. He's very important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like we've seen the way they play now, but watching a few things, but talking about how they almost don't want the ball, their metrics in terms of possession, passes, all of this stuff. They're really just, they don't score very many goals. They can win games with 30% possession, which is why it kind of makes sense to me, maybe why he's bringing on his more kind of tricky players later on, because he doesn't really need them that much if they're not going to be on the ball that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not unusual what they're doing, but if they're not going to go out and score 3 or 4,
right?
So we should be able to maybe outscore them. But I mean, the dangers are obvious. Chris Wood, Gibbs White, and all those, whichever version of whichever fullbacks, if he wants to go, Aina, Williams, the guy on the left, not Lodi, the other guy, can't remember the left back they have. Can't remember his name now. But they've got Yates and your man Danilo in midfield. They're just strong everywhere. They're just strong, physically strong, but also tactically strong. But they don't want a lot of the ball, but that might suit us. It's just, I'm not really looking forward to this game. This game does worry me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could, because it's not like Manchester United basically did to us similar to what they did. Didn't have a lot of the ball, went long.
Right.
And that's worked again recently. So, like how they were saying, Mario Milinkovic in the center half here is just top quality.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of strong players all over the pitch. Not danger men everywhere, but obvious danger men. Gibbs, White, Wood, and whoever he wants to play up top will be quick and tricky. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I'm not confident going into this one at all, to be honest with
you. Okay. We got actually Nalante is with us today. Big up, Nalante. How are you doing?
Yeah, big up 12. Big up Brad as always in the chat. Big up.
We were just talking about some of the areas of the pitch that we will probably have to keep our eye on, at least players on in certain areas of the pitch that we possibly need to keep our eye on. Is there any particular player that Forest has that you're like, okay, is there one particular player that we can like shut down and everything falls apart for them? Do you think, like sometimes there's those linchpin players that really, especially for teams like that, where, he's the exceptional player that makes everything work. Like, what's his name? Gunnar Souls thinks that their linchpin player is Odegaard. He makes everything work for them. That's at least his diagnosis of his team. Is there someone on this Forest team that like resembles that linchpin player that I'm kind of like referencing or referring to? To you, Nwante?
Oh yeah, 100%. Gibbs White.
Gibbs White. Okay.
Oh yeah, Gibbs
We're
White.
actually linked to him too, by the way, which is kind of wild.
It's a silly link. I think it's just hearsay because we don't need him. Already well stacked now. He's a good player though. Don't get me wrong, but no. I mean, I am also actually, to be fair, I know we're focusing on the game. I am concerned about these Elliott reports. I'm very concerned.
I don't. You know what's wild about it too is that Elliott is a player that he utilized very, very like really utilized in the preseason.
Yeah.
I know it's because we didn't have a lot of the players. Obviously, a lot of the pretty much guaranteed starters that would eventually be returning to the team because they were either on Euros or at Copa. But he was a very, very big part of the preseason. And not only was he a very big part of it, he was one of the better players of the preseason. Like he shined in the preseason. And that's why it's weird that like these rumors are starting to pick up a little bit of steam, if you think, considering that yes, he doesn't get as much playing time as he possibly should be getting. B, considering again those things I just said, and that obviously he's a player that has shown his ability, is a player that is certainly got incredible talents, very young player as well. So I mean, I really don't like giving up on players to his level that have had such ability, and not only such ability, but have played at the level. Like it's one thing I get, you're Bobby Clark, good player, yet it wasn't like Bobby Clark was getting runs with the senior team consistently enough to say, oh, he's got Premier League experience, like a big load of Premier League experience under his belt. But what is it that Elliott has to do to get into this lineup, or is it maybe just this lineup or the way that this not lineup but this formation is set up? Maybe there's not a place for him in it. Is that what it is now? What do you think it is, Brian? And then Nolante, tell us your eyes too.
What does he have to do to get into this team?
Yeah,
be better than Dom Sabasa.
Okay.
He plays in the number 10 spot, or in that whatever people want to call it, the furthest forward in the midfield. That's Elliott's role. He's not going to play in the 8 deeper. He's not going to play wide. So he only has, it's a numbers game. To get in the team, he has to be the best player in the squad for that position. It's pretty simple. Otherwise, if Dom is better than him, Dom's going to play. If John's better than him, he's going to play. So I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult for Harvey. It's always been difficult for Harvey, because at a club like Liverpool, in such a pivotal position like that, it's not left back, it's not right back, before pre-Trent. This is the number 10 role, whatever you want to call it, the central attacking midfield role. It's a hugely important role in the team. New managers will come in and they'll want someone in that role. It might not necessarily be that kid we bought 5 years ago from Fulham as a 15-year-old.
Right.
As good he is, it's trying to get. It's like, how do you become the number 9 at one of the biggest clubs in the world? Because there's always going to be top players in the queue for that place as well. So it's by nature it's difficult enough, but it's kind of like, it says to me, if we were, I wouldn't go so far as to say maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a Villa, a Newcastle, a Brentford, he'd be starting. he'd be one of the probably, maybe not, but he'd probably start a hell of a lot of games and he'd play a lot. But it's just because you get to Liverpool, then we're going for Premier Leagues and Champions League. This is the elite level, and I think that's the issue.
Okay. How about do you agree with everything he said, Nalante, or do you have something to add, or do you disagree certain points of what Brian thinks?
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Brian. Yeah, of course, it's dumb to look. It's not but at the same time, at the same time, it's not much to say because he's just come back and he hasn't had the chance. So to be better
Right.
than Dom, how is he going to be better if he doesn't get the opportunity? For me, and it's funny
Right.
because
Sorry, I meant in
pre-season,
training. Sorry, when
in
I said, I
training,
mean,
yeah.
every week in training, show the manager that you're the guy that needs to start.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. But I would counteract that. He could do that, but Slot might not want him. He might not fancy him. So he can do that. But again, Slot because Slot has an opinion which I've seen the trend, and again, we don't know what's going on in training. So we trend that if the form player is playing well, but if a certain first teamer is ready, he just drops them like that, like the bat of the lid, and I don't like that. The Kelleher, I didn't like that situation. Joey was was on form, and yeah, he got the injury, so it's easy to put Ibu in. He would have put Ibu in straight for Joey, which I didn't like. Now tomorrow, if Salah is having a stinker, and yeah, I get Slot. Just kind of, it's like sometimes Slot doesn't. I think Slot with his words needs to be careful because with Kelleher, the Newcastle game, remember Ali was near enough, and he said, "Oh, but Ali's my number one, so he's just gonna come in." I appreciate that, and it's like you're just kind of dismissing what Kelleher's done. I get Ali, but shouldn't be competition for places. Or should it just be Ali can have 10 stinkers hypothetically and nothing happens? The same with Salah. I think you mentioned about Salah, and I get it. Oh, his numbers, his goals, but what if Salah has 3 stinkers in a row? Are you telling me you're not going to play Chiesa? And tomorrow, I do want to see if Salah, quote unquote, is having a bad game. I want to see him have the balls to say, you know what, Salah, Chiesa's ready to go, put him on. Otherwise, what is the point? What is the point of the squad? So, sorry, I know I kind of diverting there, but back to Elliot, it's a difficult one. It's I think the only way we're going to see Elliot is if Jones, now that he's back and he's ready to go, he's been ready to go. If Jones drops to cover the number 8 position, so if he covers a Mac or a Grav, and then Elliot can have game time with Swap his sub. That's the only way, but in no means in time that should be selling him because I think it would be a big mistake.
I think I agree with you. I think for someone that was one of last year, Elliot was one of the most called upon substitutes by Klopp on this team. Now, I get that there's 2 different coaches, 2 different principled approaches towards the game. I'm not dismissing. But what I am saying is that this player has shown that he can hold his own in the Premier League. And he is certainly a vital, if not a important enough component to not just try to cash in on. Did they give a price as to what they're looking for to get back for him if he were to go? Is there a number that you saw in any of those articles?
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing is between 30 and 35 mil. Elliot.
No.
Which is yeah.
No. There's absolutely no way I would evaluate him as a 35 million pound player.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way. No, I get it. I just say that because there's no way I would say that a player like Kirkhez is a talented player, but Kirkhez is getting like an evaluation of like 40 some million or 50 million or something like that, I think, right?
Yeah.
Left back still.
What's that?
Left back is specialist position. They always cost more.
You think left back will cost more than a?
No, I'm just saying left backs always cost more than they should.
Oh,
because they're left backs. They always cost more. Like a good left back will always cost more than a good right back because his left footers are rare. You know, it's just good left backs are rare. They always cost. Always a premium on a good left back.
Okay, I got you.
No, I'm not saying he should cost. No, I'm not comparing to Elliot at all. I'm just saying in terms.
Yeah,
of
I got you. I'm not. Yeah. I understand.
Elliot to me, 35, 30 million is pretty cheap. But then I can understand that. I can understand that number because if you're linking Dortmund to buying someone like him,
they'll have. Yeah,
they're not paying 60, 70 million quid. There's no point even pretending that that's going to happen.
No.
You know, they always try and pick these lads up for 25, 35, that kind of price.
Yeah.
You know, if you came out to me and said, "Oh, Dortmund are preparing to bid 70 million for Ari," I'd be, "Come on, get out of there." You know, no chance. Will they try and get, like, if we said, "Look, there's a player we're interested in there, it's in a different position," maybe something like that might happen. But yeah, that price just on its own, no, I'd be like more
35 million. No,
45.
that's like, yeah, exactly. Marquet just said that.
Yeah, I'd be around that.
Because there's no way. No way I would do that. That's just too. It's just for what does 30 what does 30 to 35 million get you back? Like, as in, what could you use 30 to 35 million to get? Are you getting the same level player as Elliot? No.
It's probably just good for it'd be good for PSR. It'd be good for that, but yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah. I don't know. It's not someone I'd be in a rush to move out the door. But if I found out he was leaving, I would not be shocked.
So, I mean, we have I think the evaluation for Ben Doak. I saw Red Armchair Supporter put it in the chat. Ben Doak is around. Apparently the evaluation for him is like 30 million.
Yeah, they were saying that what they got offered 15, and they let it be known, as they say in the press, that they value him closer to 30 million. So yeah, someone like Harvey Elliott, like if
a player, I mean, Ben Doak is a talented player, very promising future, I think. But
sure, look,
Elliott has literally played in the Premier League and done well, and has played well in the Premier League.
Yeah, but we got 25 million for Carvalho. So how can Elliott only be worth 30? Exactly.
That was my next point too, by the way. Definitely. That makes no sense. I hope that these are just rumors. I hope that these are just, I can understand that right now, a lot of teams, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's, or teams from Saudi Arabia, whether it's, Dortmund, like you just mentioned earlier, they're all looking at this opportunity of Liverpool are definitely going to be making some adjustments to our lineup when it comes to the summer. We're going to make some of these changes just to further the evolution to what Slot wants as his as the players he can call upon to fulfill what he believes is the best way forward with the team. And I'm not saying Slot is going to handpick them, by the way. I'm saying that we're, obviously Hughes and the brain trust that is the backroom staff is going to do their best to try to bring about that for him. But it's interesting. I know Hylor is bringing up the whole Stefanos, the guy that I asked you to look at.
Oh, no, just ignore that. And just ignore that's a load of rubbish. Why would we buy 18? We've got Jaden Dance. I'm just ignoring
that. Thank you. That's exactly what I said too. Thank you. That's exactly what I was saying.
Load of rubbish.
I heard these rumors and I'm like, cool. Sounds like
doesn't make sense.
Player. That's great.
Doesn't make sense.
Good. But like, why would we go as far as to go for a player when we have a 19-year-old of our own that has played and done well for us? The only reason why he hasn't played lately or hasn't been getting all the opportunities that he probably would have was because he had the back injury early in the season.
Yep.
And also he got a knock towards the end of last season, after that great League Cup game that he played in, where him and I think Kumas scored in that game. He scored in that game. I want to say he scored maybe twice in that game.
Yeah, I think it was the FA Cup game. So Southampton, I believe.
It was yeah, okay, it was FA Cup game.
Yeah.
I know it was a cup matchup. Yeah. Yeah, he's a talent. He's certainly a promising talent. And that's why I was like, why do you think we would go out? And I get that this guy is apparently a good player, but why would you bring in that player that obviously would be, and people might say, oh, it'll be competition, but it's more so it's just another player in the pathway of that other player. And one way or another, one of those players is probably going to get, blocked out from their true progression. So I don't know about that story.
Yeah,
I get it. I get that. I get that it was. I see. He's saying it was launched by Florian Plattenberg, who is normally a good source. That he is.
Well, he's hit and miss. I wouldn't say he's a good source. I would just say he's a hit and miss journalist with these things. But I believe that's rubbish. Why again? What is he going to do in our team? If we're going to get a striker, we're going to get a proven striker. We're not, and then Nunes will move on. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Nolante.
Yeah.
Nolante. I'm afraid to burst your bubble. It doesn't matter what Plettenberg says. I've seen it. I've seen the real proof. I've seen 2 welcome to Liverpool videos already. And we all know once the welcome to Liverpool videos go up, it's a done deal.
It's done.
These boys with these things in the pocket, ready to go with this side, boom, welcome to Liverpool. So this guy hasn't even.
They got him in the kit already.
Yeah, already.
They got the.
Oh man, I have to laugh at those things. I just laugh.
Yeah.
Welcome to Liverpool, this, that. And then it's like 8 minutes of skills, and you see him like passing a ball 3 yards to somebody about 18 times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh man, those things are the worst.
The clickbaits, Larry.
Yeah, I have this thing there. You want 14 appearances, 8 goals, 2 assists. Greek, 6'3" 10 million. Plays as an out and out center forward. He just literally just nowhere else. He's just a striker.
That makes really no sense.
According to Transfer Market, their current rumors, 3 interested clubs: Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea. No mention of us.
Yeah.
And all of those are at less than 50% probability according to Transfer Market. So he's a young, was he 19? One for the future, yeah, but like you say, if what Jayden Danns is, if he's not one for the future, and
yeah,
I don't know. But look, the guy.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why they would connect, like, as in they're going to say, oh, this player playing not in not in Bundesliga 1, but in Bundesliga 2.
No shade on Bundesliga.
Is oh yeah, let's get him in and he'll replace. He's going to replace Nunez. He's going to.
And they're told a lot of money as well.
He's going to circumvent Dan's place in possibly being an asset for us. He might even take over Diego's job. Okay.
Yeah, when I saw the price, it was kind of like the Elliott one. When I saw it, it's like, all right, plays for these guys. Maybe we got some like kind of £12 million bid deal lined up or something like that. 19-year-old kid, Bundesliga 2. But then I saw they're talking about 25 million.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know about that.
And you ever notice that it seems like whenever we get connected to a player, it's always, oh, and Manchester City is also interested in this player too. Like it's just like, they're just like, we need the 3, it's either us, City, or if they want to get cheeky, they'll throw in like a La Liga team or a PSG or something like that, just to make you say, "Oh, we need to watch this," or "We need to keep our eyes on this." It's very interesting. Very interesting. January is it's a cold month, but it is it heats up with rumors for sure. It definitely keeps it heated with rumors. Well, about this Forest matchup, some updates. Danilo is returning from injury for Forest. Only apparently Ibrahim Sangare remains unavailable for them. I have a predicted. I didn't put together an actual visual for the predicted lineup for their team, but the team I could probably see playing would be Sells, Anya, Milenkovic. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Mario, Williams, Dominguez, Anderson, Elanga, Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, and Wood. Now that's a strong lineup, by the way. That's going against what I said.
Yates will play as well.
You think?
Yeah, Yates starts for them.
You think Yates will start? Okay.
Yeah, Yates. He's like their captain linchpin type. Well, I don't know if he's captain, but he's their like midfield linchpin destroyer type guy.
Okay. If it was that, then I guess it would be who do I have in there
instead of Dominguez, I think maybe.
Yeah,
Dominguez.
Yeah,
no fun. Either or. That'll be the only position to from Bryce. So yeah, either or.
Yeah. At home, I'd imagine it'd be Yates as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good shout. The key players, obviously, Chris Wood, 12 goals, Gibbs White, 4 goals, 3 assists this year. The form stats, Liverpool second in the form table over the last 8 games with 18 points. Forest are top of the form table with 21 points in their last 8 games, conceding only 3 goals in those 8 games. So they're doing exceptionally well, certainly doing better than a lot of people probably would have had them doing. They've gotten together with a real concerted effort of playing defense and also getting goals against teams as well. There is a wild statistic too, and this might affect some of your score predictions. We're going to get those in. We're going to see what you guys think. But there is a very interesting statistic. Let me make sure I remember it best. It is the fact that I'm trying to think how it goes. Since 1984, Liverpool have only scored at City Ground. I've only scored multiple goals at City Ground on 2 occasions. Quick trivia question. Can you name those 2? Can you name the 2 times, the 2 years that you can name if you can name the month, I'll give you even more credit. But can you name the years that we scored more than 2 goals or scored more than 1 goal at Forest?
Oh,
I know you guys are both good at these kinds of things. That's why.
Especially 99.
19 what?
No, 1999. 99.
That's
okay. The month.
If you get the
March?
month, that's mad kudos. But
March?
Like, April.
Okay. Close.
April
okay.
1999.
And
what was this? And what's this? The other one. There's one other time we scored more than 1 goal, more than 1 goal at City Ground. That's not saying that we've obviously we can scored more goals at Anfield, but I'm just saying at City Ground, there's only been 2 occasions that we scored more than 1 goal.
96.
No. Brian, you want to have a shot?
At the City Ground.
At the City Ground.
City Ground. Yeah. No. Where did you? What? No, they went 99.
He got one right. That's 1999 was one of them.
97, no.
And then he went 96. 96 was incorrect.
1993.
That's very close. Very close. I don't know if anyone wants to take a stab at it in the chat. Bernie's usually is good at this sometimes too. Maybe Mark.
I'm just surprised there's only 2. I mean,
that is surprising. That's why when I saw this statistic, I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. You would have thought that we would have had a couple of an occasion or two, obviously more than an occasion or two, to do it. Red Armchair Supporter is saying 92. Robert says 86. Bernie says 84. It is January 1990 is the year that we did it. January 1990 and April 1999. So we did it once, the beginning of the 90s, and I guess not the end of the 90s, but technically
last year.
Yeah, the last year of the 90s. The first year of the 90s, the first year of the 90s, and the last year of the 90s. We did it. We did it.
Yeah,
so maybe that means that we'll do it this time because we're in the middle of the 2020s. I don't know. Maybe there's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Yeah. We did it once at the beginning, once at the end of a decade. Now let's get one to do for the middle of the decade. How about that? Thumbs up in the chat, maybe for that one. Yeah. 2 goals in a game just twice in our last 15 visits. 2 goals in the last 15 visits. That's something crazy.
What time is the kickoff? UK, aren't you know how to talk, right?
It is for UK.
Isn't it 8?
Yes, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff because it's 1 o'clock here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I will say this though. I will say this, and this is why I say maybe. Yeah, thank you, Robert, with a thumbs up. I get 1 thumbs up in the chat. Big up. For the breaking that trend in the middle of this decade, and since we are in 2025, I will say this. Liverpool have scored 2 or more. Thank you, Cedric. Now they're starting to all cipher in. Liverpool have scored 2 or more goals in 12 consecutive league games. It is our best run of 15 from March of 15 done in March of 2019. March of 2019 to September of 2019. So hopefully we can get this going on. Yeah, big up, Bernie. I appreciate it. Yeah. So that's a wild stat, though. That is a wild stat because you would have thought that we probably would have had a little bit more success there. We also have Chris Kavanaugh is on referee watch in this game. I only say that because I know people are recognize that nowadays you kind of do. We don't want to necessarily have to think about the referee, but for those out there, we have Chris Kavanaugh on this. We do have a favorable record with him being the ref, in matches. We have 16 wins in 21 games. So hopefully we can make this 17. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Do you know what I heard today, which I couldn't? Sorry, I don't mean to go all like tangenty, but I heard Manchester United fan say, typical Liverpool get a bye to the 4th round, and Manchester United get their obligatory tough draw. Manchester United's obligatory tough draw. Was this guy not alive in the 90s and the 2000s when they got freaking Accrington Stanley and Plymouth in the semis and the finals?
Yeah.
If there was a small team left in the draw, it was like there was a magnet attached to them for United.
For a Manchester, I would even go as far as for a Manchester team. Period.
Oh, well, Man City were never they were never even in the Premier League back in those days.
Oh, back in
They were
those
even-
days, certainly, yeah. But I meant
Yeah.
like as of late, like when it comes to League
Oh, no,
Cup,
he said, oh,
FA
yeah,
Cup.
typical City and Liverpool. He said typical City and Liverpool, which is like, okay, you're talking shite, but then
Oh,
to
he did
follow it
say
up,
City, I
and
guess. Okay, he did put City in there.
yeah,
Gotcha.
but then to follow it up with saying the obligatory tough draw for Man United. They've had like 3 tough draws in about 100 years.
Yeah, that's silly. So yeah, Kavanaugh's the ref. I do have a lineup that I put together. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this lineup. I have 3 major key matchups. Obviously, I spoke on Nico Williams. He's going to have to go up against Salah, someone he probably had to go up against in training quite a bit. But he's going to have to go up against possibly a player that has had a little bit of a dip in performance, in the sense of I don't think that the last couple of games have been his best, but I'm certain that he will look to correct those wrongs or his little dip in performance. And Nico, unfortunately, might be the target of that. I also have Hudson-Odoi versus Trent Alexander-Arnold. We all know that Trent Alexander-Arnold had a good game. I wouldn't say a great game. I don't know why he got man of the match, by the way, in that last matchup, in that FA Cup matchup. By the way, I heard that he got the man of the match for the FA Cup game, or was handed the man of the match by. I'm not sure if it was by the broadcast company, or if it was by, how Liverpool gives out a man of the match as well. I'm
Well,
not
I
sure.
think it's just a Liverpool man of the match. We lost the game. There's no way he's winning man of the match.
In our last game.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think
It's Everton Stanley. Yeah.
I think
He had a great goal. He had a wonder.
Yeah,
Goal.
he would have gotten it because he got the screamer, probably.
Yeah. But I honestly think BBC, thank you, Bernie. BBC gave it to him. I think that's like.
I thought you were talking about Tottenham game. Sorry.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. No, I think that's wild that they gave it to him, because I personally, I know we didn't do a review of that game, but I personally thought that I would have given it to my Ichiban number 1. At least I thought he played a phenomenal game in that game. Held it down. I thought Endo was possibly the man of the match of that game. But didn't do anything like, obviously spectacular or anything like that. But for me, Endo was my man of the match. Held it down. I mean, all things considered, he held it down really well. Cedric agrees. Good. I appreciate that. I don't know if you guys who was your man of the match of the last game too, by the way? Since we didn't do a review.
Yeah, good question.
I did get to see that game too. I didn't get to see it live because I had issues with my streaming service, so I got to watch. But for those out there on YouTube, they put the entire match in its entirety on YouTube, so you can watch the entire game, which is super cool. So
yeah, it's on the FA Emirates Cup channel on YouTube.
Yeah, that's super cool that they did that.
Yeah, it's not even like somebody to record it. It's the actual official FA Cup channel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So you get the commentators, you get everything. Yeah. I didn't watch the game. I felt like I was like, I guess you could say went into the DeLorean, like it was like, and went back to like the I don't know when the TV start, let's say 1930s, I guess, or something, 1920s, because I had to listen to it listening to it on the radio. I just listened to LFC TV actually does a presentation of it, so I had to listen to it like I was listening to it on the radio.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back before TV. But I ended up watching the game actually as well, so that was really cool. They talked about Endo too. Yeah, they had to. There's some praise for sure. Bernie says Trent for her because despite the negative gossip about him, he stepped up as captain, and the goal was amazing. He led by example. That's a good shout. I can understand that. DeLoreans are lovely looking cars. Yeah, they are. They are. To some people, I guess. Not to. I guess obviously not. When they came out, they were definitely mocked. They're absolutely They're almost as well. Who knows who will be our sponsor one day? So DeLorean won't be our sponsor, probably most likely. But I won't say anything disparaging about any other car companies out there.
They were made in Northern Ireland. You know that?
Oh wow, really?
DeLoreans.
Oh yeah, built in Belfast. That's what Bernie just said. That's cool. I did not know that.
And then John DeLorean got busted by the feds.
And that all went to crap. Yeah. Let me get you this lineup. Let me show you this lineup, guys. Tell me what you guys think about this. Make this a large print, full screen. So this is my predicted lineup. I think we're at a place with this team that it pretty much picks itself when it comes to our starting lineup. I don't know if I know there are probably names out there that we want to see. I know Nolante is very critical of players, who are informed should be playing as opposed to players just playing because of their name or whatever their association to the team is like that. But I think it pretty much picks itself nowadays. I have Robbo, obviously our captain, Virgil. Ibu, now that he's back to being available. Trent on the other side. Obviously, Ali in goal. The tandem of Grav, a.k.a. Gravy, and Macca in that back tandem. And then I know that some people might have Curtis possibly, but I think because I've Dom in this game, I think Dom would suit this game a little bit more. Who is she? Who is she in your thumbnail?
The Emirates girl.
Oh, that's just that's I paid for to create a logo. I don't know her personally. I'll have to look to get her name as a credit for it. But I also have in the front line, I have what is certainly become more of our associated front line. Obviously Salah, but Cody on the left and Lucho in the middle. And then I have Kwanzaa, Simicast, Chiesa, Morton, Endo, Diego, Bradley, Jones, and Kelleher on the bench. What do you guys think about this lineup? Tell me what your lineup is, or anyone that you think is or should be, either substituted in, or maybe even if the bench isn't what you think it's going to be, maybe you have, I don't know, Nioni, or maybe you have Rio getting another shout to join the club, rather than Morton or someone else. I think Morton's probably the only odd man out on that lineup that would be taken, or whose place would be taken by, or maybe you have Dan's. To be taken by him. What about you guys? Brian or Nolante? Nolante. We can go Nolante first. Nolante, is this lineup suit you? And if not, what would you do different?
Maybe changes. I'll make 3 changes. I'll start Simicast ahead of Robbo. I'm going to go left field. I'm going to surprise a lot of people with this decision. No one. I'll do Endo Grav.
Okay.
I'll do Endo Grav. That midfield for me.
Okay.
just to solidify that midfield. And whether Sub or Matt starts in a 10 or is Matt going to be benched, and so be it. And then up front, I think Lucho's been a bit not 100% with it, but I'll play Jota. The time now is, I know he wasn't 100% great against
Mhm.
Spurs. He
Mhm.
could play a lot better. But that goal against, obviously, easy finish, give him confidence. I would just unleash Jota against
Mhm.
Forest personally.
Okay. How about for you, Brian? And Robert, that is a good shot. I thought about that too. I thought about Morton maybe not getting the nod simply because Nunez isn't on the bench. Um, having another forward on the bench would be good, but I thought that Diego was enough coverage on the bench. But go ahead, Brian.
Jeremy, I have the same team other than Jota is in for Diaz.
Okay.
Same side.
Did we go?
I'd have Jota.
Yeah, let me double check too. What was the lineup that we went with against them when we did play them? Actually, let's see what that was. Actually,
But just also I would if I have Endo and Jones on the bench, I don't think I need another midfielder. So I think Morton could drop out and you could bring in. Yeah, that would give you Dan's. Jota would be starting. You'd have Dan's maybe is a bit reward, but I don't see. I think being honest, I don't really see a world where we go to Nottingham Forest tomorrow and we're in a position where we could bring on a Jaden Dans. I don't really see a world where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give him the spot on the bench as a reward, maybe? But even if he was on, I'd be like, we're not getting to a point in a game where we're freewheeling and beating him 6-0 and we can bring on people like Jaden Dans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's back to the big boys league now at the moment. So Rio, Dans, even if they were in it, they're not going to be playing. So
Right.
what would you do otherwise? Would you bring
He
just as
was
a reward maybe?
now there is, and this is a shout to my brethren Cal and even my brethren Matt. Drifty was trying to bring this point up, but Dan's did play in this fixture last year. He was on the pitch. Yeah, he didn't start. I don't know if he started, but he was on the pitch when we actually scored the goal. When Nunez scored the goal.
Clark, McDonald, I think they all played some part in that game, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, Forest last season, a different proposition to this one right now. I mean, the Forest we're going to play tomorrow is a very different proposition to Forest. But look, he could get the shout, but it's just, even if he do come on, I just mean we'd have to be in a really strong position to be able to bring him on.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not. Maybe we are 1-0 down. He wants to try something different. He's like, okay, go on, Jaden.
Yeah.
Do your thing. But it would be interesting. I don't think we would, just to make, it's not that we wouldn't need him, but to kind of bring in somebody else. I don't think we need Jones, Morton, and Endo on the bench. That's 3 mids. I think we could get away with 2 and then use one of those spots to bring in a different attacking option. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But the only other difference I would start Jota if he's ready. I think he is ready.
He did start. Diego started the game.
Yeah.
He started the game against Forest at home.
Yeah, it is. It's quick turnarounds, but he's not back that long. But yeah, I would start him. I think if he's fit, I try and get an hour out of him because he's that.
So then, if you start Diego, then are you benching
Diaz?
You're benching Diaz. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't bench.
I know that you prefer.
every game for me.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I'm looking to see if anyone put in. I saw, like I asked for the chat to chime in. Robert was saying Dan's on the bench to replace Nunez for suspension. Bernie was saying the midfield is a little light for an aggressive rival defense. Red Armchair Supporter says it's good to have Dom back, which I agree with completely. Bernie said Dom will cause them a few problems. All right. Robert also said Diego, the fox in the box, instead of Diaz. Yeah. You know what and this is just my perception. It's interesting because like sometimes when we do our analysis of the game or the players, especially.
Hang on a minute. You don't have Elliot on the bench.
I don't. So I would say so Morton probably be Elliot then. My bad.
Yeah, that no, yeah, that yeah.
You know what?
That'd be my
Yeah. So let me
that'd work.
let me bring this down real quick and make sure I correct that. You are correct. It's kind of wild. I think this must have been it's so many. We finally have our team pretty much back to being full
Yeah,
strength.
if Darwin wasn't suspended, it'd be only Joe Gomez. That'd be the only guy out.
And that's why, and that's exactly some of what I was about to get at is that I hear a lot of people wanting to get reinforcements for the team, but I think this is something that Milante has brought up as well, and possibly even yourself, Brian. But if we do bring in players, it means that someone is leaving for certain, pretty much a certainty, because I would say it's a pretty close to a certainty that someone's leaving, because when you look at this lineup again, I'll bring this up for us. You look at this lineup, and by Morton, I replaced Morton with Elliott. You look at that starting lineup, all those players are guaranteed to be on. If they're fit, they're going to be somewhere on our roster, our roster for that day. You look at the bench: Kwanzaa, Simicast, Chiesa, Elliott, Endo, Diego, Bradley, Jones, Kelleher. That's 9 names that arguably would not be sitting in the stands, to watch the game. And that's not including Gomez, who is injured, obviously. And we did have an update from the coach saying that it does look like it's going to be a couple more weeks before Gomez is able to get back to playing. And I don't want to rush that, especially, hamstrings are very difficult to try to mitigate and bring back a player properly. So I want him to be strong and be able to contribute properly. And then you also look at the fact that Nunez isn't on this lineup or isn't a part of this group, and that's a name that normally Nunez is going to be on the love him, hate him, whatever. He's going to be either on the bench or in the starting lineup. And even if it is more likely on the bench now, he's still going to be a part of the selection group to have. So I don't know where, and I know people want us to get players and the likes, but I don't know what and who would be. It's scary because then that I guess gives a little more credence as to why Elliott's name might be out there floating around as a player that might be on the outs. I don't think Endo, K-Mac, hear this loud and clear. I do not think that Endo is going to be a player that gets the heave-ho in January. Don't think he's getting his passport ready for Italy, as K-Mac was reporting. And then you look at the other names on that list. Kwanzaa's not going anywhere. Simicast isn't going anywhere. Maybe Chiesa could go back to Italy. Maybe Elliott, but other than those 2 names, that's Endo, Diego, Bradley, Jones, Kelleher. All 5 of those names are all players that will be, if fit, will be on the bench or playing. So it's an interesting thing. The bench is stacked. I think that's right. It is a pretty healthy looking bench. And if we can get Chiesa up to the levels that we need him at, you're looking at a very formidable bench along with a formidable front line. Starting 11. You just JK, big up. I see you just joined us. How do you feel about the what I just said? We've been talking about earlier we were speaking on the Elliott rumors possibly going to Dortmund. We are talking about give a little bit of shout out for to Dan's and to some of the players some of the youth academy players that have made emergences this year. But primarily what I was just referencing is that these 20 players are pretty much a solid group of players to have as the pool to select from. Obviously, we have Nunez that's not on there, and obviously Gomez as well not being on here. And then you have the variable, the 23rd player on there being whichever youth academy player that you choose to make a part of the team, whether it's Morton or Neone or even Rio now, who's slightly emerged as a possible selection, and then now even Jaden Dans as a possible selection for that 23rd member of the roster. But considering you can only bring 20 names, how are you feeling about this lineup and the strength of it?
Evening, boys.
Right, check it.
I like that. For me, I'm going with that. The only one maybe I would sort of change, because I've seen Kanate sort of been training last few days. I might start Kwanzaa instead of Kanate. But other than that, I'll go with that.
Okay.
Also,
I'll be honest with you, this is why I wish Gomez was healthy, because if Gomez was healthy, I think it's a shame that he went down with his injury, because I would like to see Gomez be able to allow for Kanate to get fully fit, not some wearing a knee brace and getting bullied off the ball by Slanky. That's not the Ibu that I know. But
for me, he's been training last few days. I want to say blessed to Cedric and Bernadette as well. But I think what you're saying about Elliot as well is I would let Elliot go to Dortmund on loan, and that he can come back after that. Because for me, a year in the Bundesliga would be a good sort of little move for him, I reckon. I wouldn't be willing to do it now. I'm not sure, because at the end of the day, you know what injuries are like. We go for if we're 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah, let him go. I feel like we need everyone on board right now. With all the competitions we're in, I wouldn't really be willing to allow anyone to go, and that's the truth. I'd rather get someone else in as well, instead of letting people go. Elliot hasn't been involved all season. He had that injury, hindered his sort of league, So for me, keep everyone on board. We're not buying anyone soon,
Yeah. I saw Brian's comment. You want to tell us your thought?
Pulled up on that. I was only joking with the chat, but yeah.
Okay.
No, I could. Not in January, because you're bringing in let's just say you're talking about what happens there. Let's just say, right, be totally unrealistic, and we brought in a Zubamendi. So, right, what can you do? You can say, well, he takes Morton's place, and I think most people, I don't think anybody would have sleepless nights about that. But if you were to bring in 3 guys in January, I don't know why all of a sudden I think the window is in February for some reason. But yeah, then you would, when you've got a squad just kind of doing what it's doing right now, you don't want to upset the apple cart. You want to kind of keep that army of these guys. these guys have been on this thing together. You know, if we're to sell 2 guys or 3 guys, you know, and make too many moves in January, you would definitely upset it. You can make a solid addition to it, but you don't need a whole lot. I know some people would say DM, some people would say centre half, whatever you want to do, but I would see in that area, you know, a kind of just a strong defensive player, but no major shakeups. But in the summer, yeah.
In the summer, different story. I have no qualms about the summer being an area that we strengthen, that we fortify the team. We get players to the teams that, you know, we allow for players to go to the teams, or either you know, get the transfers to the teams that they want to be a part of if they don't see their future with Liverpool. That's one thing, but
I'll give you the 5. The 5
you do
for me.
You do have a 5, okay? From this
Yeah,
20.
I'll give you the 5.
From this 20. From this 20.
Yeah. Tsimikas, Endo. Oh well, sorry, from this 20. Well, Nunes isn't in it. Well, Nunes was.
I knew you were going to do that. That's why I said from this.
Sorry,
20.
yeah, I did.
Yeah,
okay,
I already knew it.
Yeah, well,
anytime that anyone gets a chance to give Nunez the heave ho, they're like, oh my God,
no, I just think we all know he's leaving in the summer. You know, I think most people would have their money on that. If you had to give him a $5 to bet either way, stay or go, you think he's probably going to go. So it'd be Endo, Tsimikas, Nunes, one of Jones or Elliott, and then if the right money came in, Diaz.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You got Diaz, right?
If the right money comes in,
and then
Nunes,
Endo. Okay, good. Say
one of Jones or Elliott.
Elliott, Jones.
One of Jones or Elliott.
Jones or Elliott. I got you.
Depending on, again, the deal. And Tsimikas.
Yeah. Okay. And Diaz are the ones. That's only, so that's really only 3 then, right? There's 4 names, but three definitely cuts.
Tsimikas, Endo, one of Elliott or Jones. So that's 3. And then, well, I'm not allowed to have Nunes, so 4. But and then Diaz if the right money comes in.
I got you. And you're going to save your spot for when Nunez comes off suspension. I got you. Yeah,
that was a rumor as well. Actually, read that was a rumor.
Yeah, I think Morton.
That was something we were a bit. What would the word be? Amenable to doing. It was a rumor for a day and it went away pretty quick. But I do remember it did pop up.
No, he was going to be gone. Actually, apparently, I read an article that said that Morton was going to be the player that got transferred, but that was to make room for Zubamendi. When the Zubamendi deal fell apart,
oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Morton became less of an asset to part ways with. So when that happened, we held on to Morton for coverage.
Well, if you're bringing in a Zubi on a what you call them, get out clause fee, 52 million after a season of Morton has, you could probably gotten 20 million for him.
Yeah.
So you're ending up with a Zubamendi and it'd be pure profit on Morton. I think that would have been a very good deal for them. That would have made good financial sense. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Yeah, but I also like the fact that we did the same with Gomez. I think apparently we're looking at doing something, and Gomez was kind of ready to go. He was kind of half packing his bags, but we don't let these players go until we make sure we've got someone in the building. We don't get blinded by an offer and then say, "Oh, great, we'll take that, and then we'll go and get this guy." If we're not 100% sure that we have the guy we need, we're not letting people go.
Right. Yeah, Robert's asking a question.
I do. Yeah,
stays in the summer.
I think maybe Arne Slot has realized the kind of player he has there now. I'm not. Hey, look, like we just been saying, we were prepared to let him go last summer. So maybe that is something that we would be revisited, but I don't know why he'd be in a huge rush. But again, that'd be nearly 10 years now Joe would be here.
Yeah.
So Yeah. Yeah, again, wouldn't be surprised if he did. Wouldn't be surprised. I think there'll be a lot of, I don't want to say a lot 'cause it sounds like 6 or 7, but I think there'll be big changes at Liverpool in the summer. I think there's going to be some
But
big changes.
yeah, well, I think Endo would only have 1 year left on his deal anyway. But Endo, let me see the names you said. Endo, you said Simicast, you said I think Simicast does have more than 1 year left on his deal. You also said either Jones or
Yeah, I think
Elliott.
one of those. Yeah, I think one of those. I'd just, it's just me. This, if I was playing Football Manager, these would be the ones that I would be trying to generate funds from.
Right.
Because they're not like Endo, Simi, Elliott. They're not starting players, but you could get, by the time you turn there, you got 25 here, 15 there, 20 there. Next thing you got a nice, and you're not, and they're older players. People have been here a long time. I'm not selling any of my crown jewels here. I'm just doing the classic bit, because we've all been complaining, or a lot of people complaining about the lack of transfers and stuff. I think this squad needs a refresh as much as anything else. Just some new energy in the building, and you can do that without having to get rid of top players. Just the kind of guy who, like we're saying, Simi, Endo, these guys are barely play, or they're on the bench more often than not. So new energy, some the slot is more kind of attuned to. I don't really. I'd like to see it. I hope to see it.
Do you think he's not playing Simicast, and he's starting to play Endo a little bit more? He's definitely giving him a lot of props lately, but like, do you think he's doing that because of in relation to the player, or do you think he's doing that in relation to the fact that he prefers to have that first selection be involved more so than not?
I just think he's doing what's best for him to win games, really. I mean, he's going to have to try and do, I don't think it's like Endo did come in, but it's a stretch for me to think he's not the future, So I just think he's a new manager who hasn't had really anybody. All new managers, what they're doing, doesn't have to get all these guys out, or they're all shite. I need my own guys. Just one or two things here and there. That's just only natural. All clubs, they make transfer, they sign players every year, move players in, move players out. We haven't done it a lot recently because we don't need to get rid of, like, that core 11 there. I mean, well, 3 of them, the elephant in the room is that 3 of those guys on that 11, starting 11, are out contracting.
Right.
So we also have that.
I mean, that would make a major, if that's another reason why, like, I get what you're saying, but if hypothetically, if 3 of those players that are on contract situations on their last year, if they were all 3 to say, okay, we're going to move on, then
oh yeah, please don't, like, this is not what Brian thinks.
Those 5 definitely don't become players that you can just say, okay, let's part ways with them.
No, but this is not what I'm saying we should do. This is like, Wayne's world, this Brian's world of Football Manager. Those are the moves I would make to try and generate.
I don't know if it's so excellent though. Excellent.
It's Brian's not party time, but not for Endo anyway, or Nunez.
Yeah, I know.
There's a taxi outside waiting for him.
Oh, Nunez is on the waiting. You saved a spot for Nunez.
Yeah, there's been a spot on that, man.
He had 5
ready to go.
5 spots from this 20. You're like, you know what? I'll save my last one for Nunez. All right. Jeez. Yeah. Will Kwanzaa be ready to cover Ibu next season too? Let's hope.
Different player, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if
center halves can be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if putting him out on a loan will be such a would be a knock to his an even bigger knock to his confidence, considering that he was at one point he was being selected over Ibu as not this year, but technically this year too, the first game, but last year towards the end of the season, he was being selected with a fit Ibu. He was still being selected over Ibu last year. So that would be certainly a fall from grace if he were to have to go on loan and figure things out for his career. I hope that's not the case. I hope that he's getting his thing together.
They're just so different. I'm not saying he can't cover, so I don't mean like he can't. They, like you say, he did, but it's just great. Like when you watch them, it's like, oh, they're both centre halves. How different can they be? That's about as different as two centre halves can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kwanzaa is very Van Dijk-esque,
Mm-hmm.
calm, kind of composed, you know, kind of a ball playing centre half or whatever. Whereas Ibu is just, I'm not saying he's just physicality, but his physicality is insane. You know, the guy's an absolute mountain. He can play football as well, but he's a much more aggressive centre half than Kwanzaa is, to my mind, anyway. He's a lot kind of more. He just wants to get involved a lot more. But Kwanzaa's definitely more in the Van Dijk mold. Ibu was just much more. I love the way Ibu plays the game. Every now and again you'll get caught out, but I just love that kind of. Every now and again you see him just literally just push someone off the pitch. Legally, you know, but he just woke up and so he just literally just say, "Not today, mate," and just say, "That's it." I love when he goes into kind of man or you know,
yeah. Hulk mode, as I like to say, beast mode. Yeah. Well, let's get these score predictions in before we lose any of our audience. Let's get these score predictions in. You already got the whole statistic about we haven't scored more than 2 goals since other than 1990 and 1999. That's since 1984 at least. So that goes even beyond the Premier League. You know, goes before the Premier League started. So, but yeah, 1984 only twice there. But the Reds are on a streak of scoring 2 or more goals in 12 consecutive league games. Currently, we are on a streak of 2 goals in 12 consecutive league games. So, yeah, hopefully we can make that 13. Be nice. What do you have as your score prediction? Let's start it off with JK, and then we'll go to Levante, and then Brian. Tell us in the chat, too, as well, what your score prediction is as well. And if you want to drop scores in there, that'd be great.
I hope you were going to say JK last. Let's go. I don't really like giving the opposition a goal. You know what I mean? I don't like doing
I know. I always try to pick clean sheets. Yeah.
So, saying that, I'm going to go with the standard 2-0 for us guys.
Okay.
With the goals coming from McAllister, because I think he's going to be up for it tomorrow. You know, he's that type of guy. He looks like, you know what, I want to get them 3 points. So I'll give him a goal. And I think either Gapco or Salah. Let's go with Gapco.
Okay. Nolante, what is your score and scorer prediction? I know probably one of your scorers in the game, but I won't give it away.
Yeah, it's a very big game. But like Brian said, I'm nervous about this game. Fortunately, I think it's going to be 1-1. And you know the man. You got the soundtrack. That all needs to be said. Gravy.
There you go. Yeah. All right. How about for you, Brian?
Oh yeah, Nolante, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's the song, isn't it? A mini Desmond. What's a 1-1? A mini Desmond?
Yeah, mini Desmond.
Desmond's son is called Mini
Desmond
Desmond.
Jr. Desmond Jr.
Desmond Jr. There you go. Desmond Jr. is a 1-1.
A 1-1.
If Desmond had any kids.
Yeah. That would be interesting if he did. But
yeah, I would. That's my kind of initial on it, you know. But I'd back us for the sake of the predictions. I'd back us to win a 2-1, but I can see being one of the hardest if we do that. It's going to be incredibly hard. But yeah, instantly when you said it to me, my mind went 1-1. So
yeah, Mark A agrees with you. 1-1. Mark A is saying Robert's got 2-0. He's got Macca and Verge to score a goal. That'd be great. That'd be really great. Bernie's got 3-0. Verge, Mo, and Chiesa. Woo.
Ooh. That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Did you think Chiesa was? Did you think Chiesa was being a little bit like the commentator even said it too, and I thought a little bit of it, but it looked like Chiesa was like so gun ho on trying to get on the board that he was possibly not. He was like
they were calling him greedy.
Yeah,
they were calling him greedy.
Yeah,
they called him greedy. I bet that was it Efanakuku who said that? I've got agenda against Efanakuku, man, because he was really sort of laying it on Chiesa, you know. He shot the goal he scored, actually. He was even trying to sort of get a fault in that. I'm going to lay off the guy, man. You know, for me, I didn't really care about his team play. I was really happy with his desire to get a goal or get on the score sheet. You know, for me, that's what he had to do. I think when you haven't really played all season and you're on the subs bench, your main focus is either get an assist or a goal, so the manager takes notice, you know. And he did that, and that was cool.
Yeah, I liked it. We were talking about after. It was like often players, they come on as a sub, or you know, they haven't, and you kind of don't see him for a while, or what. Like Chiesa is just like immediately involved. Like even if he's not been playing for a while, if he's coming on, he just immediately. There's just thing about him. He's like the ball is attracted to him. He's attracted to the ball. It's like you know, winning. He's just not. It just doesn't seem to take any time to get up to speed in the game. Maybe fitness wise, but yeah, that greed about him. Yeah, definitely. You can see he's desperate to score. He's clearly desperate to score and make an impact and shut up all these. He's going back to Italy. He's a waste of space, a busted flush, bad transfer. You can see he's like desperate to go out there and make it.
Yeah, you can see it was a relief when he did score it too.
Yeah, and hey, look, we were 3-0 up against Accrington.
Yeah,
you can't blame him for. Yeah, there was probably one maybe where he ran in to a little bit of trouble, but name me a striker that's never done that. It's only because he tried like 3 or 4 things in a row, and he tried to kind of do it himself. Yeah, maybe he's a striker. Like Efanakuku is saying that, or these guys are saying that because they're strikers. Like I'd be really annoyed as a striker if he didn't pass that to me. Greedy little winger type thing. But the guy is out there trying to make an impact. He's trying to get that monkey off his back, you know, and he did it. Like he scores not the greatest long range code you're ever going to see. He wasn't the cleanest strike in the world. Bobbled a few times, but he does that at the cop end, you know, and it's that relief there.
Now he's done it, you know what I mean? And what I loved about that was he hit the post even, and you know what? He's like, you know what? I've still got a few minutes of work. I'm gonna get that goal, and he did it. And for me, that sort of desire is what I want to see in a player. That sort of desire actually sometimes
I didn't mind
not a good player into a better player, because desire makes you a better player. But you try harder, you know what I mean? And I enjoyed the energy he put out there to say to Arnie, look, I ain't played all season, and here I am, you know. And it was good. I think it was really made me enjoy the game more when I seen Chiesa on there doing that.
Do you know, lads, quickly, do you know what they wouldn't have said, right? I guarantee you, right, if Rio or Jaden Dans had come on and played like that, not one of those English commentators would have been calling him greedy. They would have said, oh, look at him trying to look at it. Oh, don't worry, he's trying to try stuff. If Dans had come on and done all those chances, if Rio had come on and played like that, none of those English commentators would have been saying, oh, a bit greedy there, a bit greedy. They would, oh, look at him, great young player trying to come on, make things happen.
He did, yeah, he did.
You know, there
were times where you could have called Dan's being greedy as well.
Yeah, fuck it, he's a striker. You're supposed to be. That's how you get goals, by being greedy. That's part of your makeup.
Yeah. There was one where Dan's he kind of like turned and got contact, but it ended up going, I think, over the bar. It was like it was a cross, but behind him sat, I think, Diego, Nunez. It was like 3 players sitting behind
Yeah,
him.
and he tried the little flick.
Yeah, and they're all like,
came in from right.
yeah,
and
they're
tried
all
to
like,
flick it.
what the? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like, sorry lads, I'm here to score goals. It's my job. That's what I do. Live with it. That's what you need. That coldness, like.
I guess, yeah. I guess
that's how he's gotten to where he is by nicking goals off other people. Not that's all, but that's how you do it. Is having that killer instinct.
Yes, yeah. I guess you could say that. I'm sure to say that.
Sniper.
Yeah.
He's got to think I'm going to finish it. I know. Yeah, he's like, yeah. That I was just going to say, like, even on that other one, where like people that can accuse some of our players of like deferring to Mo too much or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like Dan's wouldn't be passing it to Mo. Dan's is finishing it.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's is not. He doesn't. It could be messy beside him. Dan's is like, don't worry, I got this. Dan's to me is just one of those players. Backs himself. Love to see it. I think he's a great striker or a great player.
Yeah.
So hopefully lots more to see from him.
Yeah.
No more silly transfer. Hopefully no more crazy transfer or Dan's to Dortmund type shit now. If we sign this other guy, I don't want to see any of that.
We'll see. We shall see. As soon as you said "Here I Am," I thought of it made me think of that Scorpion song. Sorry, so that's why it's in my head now. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry for getting Scorpions stuck in your head.
Yeah, I know, right? Rock you like a hurricane, right? Well,
whenever to me, it's just Winds of Change, and that song, man.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a crazy ballad, definitely. Rock ballads, definitely one of the all-time rock ballads out there. But back to this this hurricane, and that is the scores that we have. Any more scores out there that you guys want to put in to score before we lock it up and start to get ready to bring this episode to a close? The Dans of Change. That's good. That's good. That is good. Red Armchair Supporter is always good with
Oh yeah. With the puns or the whatever.
He's really on point. You could do like you could be the copy or something like that, for a newspaper. Could really come up with some catchy bylines.
He's got that Irish wit,
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, the goal was triple the height, and with Nunez would score a hat trick every game. That he would. I know. It is funny because his shot. He should have done better with that shot. He certainly rushed it and put it over the bar.
It lacked belief, that strike.
Yeah, but then again, it was either I don't think it was Chiesa, but Dan's. I think it was Dan's had a very similar opportunity, and he put it over the bar as well. But yes.
Yeah. Dan's had the other one. Dan's had is pretty much from the same area. He buries it.
Well,
the goal Dan scored was pretty much from, but it was Nunez had to take a touch. Dan's didn't. He just took the rebound, hit it first time.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying Dan's had an opportunity. I think it was.
Oh, he had the other one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he had another opportunity.
And he first
skied it over. He skied it over the bar.
But even on the first one, where people was kind of saying Darwin had, I said he had 2 chances. Then I watched the replay. Like the first one he had, where like the header,
that was
behind him. That was. Was he ahead of the ball or was it behind him? I don't know. But
that ball was behind him. He had to the commentator said it too. He's like, he had to readjust, to try to get back, try to make any contact on the ball. That was just him, not being in the right position to make it. But yeah, if they did make the goal a little bit bigger, maybe he'd have more goals. Maybe. So, anything you guys want to bring up before we bounce on out? We're coming up on. We already did our 90 minutes, our good 90 minutes of. We're actually well into extra time here. Anything you guys want to bring up?
Well, JK, you came in last, so if anything you want to talk about.
No, I just like wondering about the team tomorrow. Like, I want to go into the game of being overconfident with it in that way where see Virgil van Dijk, he plays football with his class and he's got this like he's like a humble type of guy with a bit of arrogance, if you understand what I mean. And I want that to be the way we play tomorrow. I want us to be sort of arrogant because we're Liverpool, you know what I mean? But be humble with it. And I think we can't go into this game sort of panicking. The media are going to hype this game big time. All the other fans, Man City, United, all of them, all getting together tomorrow to watch that game, get their own game. You know what I mean? They're waiting for us to do something. So I'm really looking forward to the actual game because, like, since that Anfield game, it's been doing Slot head in. It's probably did everyone's head in, you know. So let's just sort of bring them back down to earth. That's the mission tomorrow. Bring Nottingham Forest back down to earth.
Okay, that's understandable. Definitely. Yeah, this game is definitely a game that Slot has. Originally, he mentioned it too. I can add the quotes that he says. He says, in general, I think every time Liverpool loses a home game, it is something we don't expect. I think in that moment of time, I also saw a stat that Virgil played 100 home games for Liverpool and only lost once. So for us to lose on that day was for him hard to take, as you probably experienced. Now looking back at it and seeing where they are, being Forest, are in the league, it's not such a shock result as I thought it was back then. Let's just not let them get one over on us, right?
I think that result gave them that like boost to get to where they are right now. I think
I agree
we battered them that day 3-4-0. They might have gone downhill from them. So for me, their sort of lead, the way they're playing this season, sort of kicked off from that game. You know, they've been going uphill since that game. Let's bring them back down to earth, man.
Yeah.
I love to play that tomorrow game. I love to play tomorrow in the midfield or something just to get that win, you know.
Yeah. It'll be good. He was obviously affected by it. He was definitely affected by it, but Slot, yes, Slot was affected by that loss, certainly.
Yeah, but
something he's mentioned numerous times in a lot of different interviews.
I bet he's watched that game 500 times.
Yeah,
he's what's it called? After that, we've done pretty well though. So he sort of watched that game, probably did his head in, and he's probably thinking, you know what I need to do next time. Maybe he hasn't really lost any games since then. Like he lost one game against Tottenham the other day, but he's gone on we're top of the leagues, bro. So he's learned from that game, I reckon. I can't wait for his tactics tomorrow to see what he's gonna be sort of pull out, you know.
Yeah. One other positive thing is that now we are past that 19th game. It now means that we, along with the rest of the league, because apparently I guess that didn't really apply to us since we hadn't played our 19th game. We are now past the 5 yellow cards being a 1-game suspension, but now we are at that stage where the 5 marker gets moved to 10, and you continue to have whatever you have. So it's not like it resets and now you have 0, but if you get to 10 yellow cards now in the first 32 games of the season, you will now receive a 2-fixture ban, regardless of if you had already served if you've already served a 1-game ban before. This time around you'll receive a 2-game ban for that. So there will be certainly players can play within their game and not worry about necessarily getting at least a ban associated to a yellow card if they end up getting one in this matchup.
There is on Saturday then, yeah. The
Mhm.
2 away games we got, away Forest, away to Brentford.
Yeah. I just saw that. Yeah. Big up.
The only
Thank you.
thing I was
Thank
kind
you,
of
Ross.
thinking there is hey crap. You know, people are talking about Forest now. You know, Forest went into every game. Sorry for saying pretty much twice, but into every game as underdogs, other than maybe they had Ipswich at home or something like that. You know, now
Yeah.
people are starting to talk about them a little bit. You know, now you've even got people out there going, well, they beat Liverpool before, and that was at Anfield. So really, why wouldn't they beat them at home? You know, you've got so for the first time, maybe does the pressure get to them a little bit, or can he tone it down and say, don't worry, don't be listening to this paper talk. We're still not favorites. It's Liverpool. You know, it will come a point where like they're going to lose that sort of, oh, Forest are on a great run, but as Forest, they're playing Spurs, they're playing yada, yada, yada. Now it's sort of like, now they're going to have to deal with potentially like that favorites tag. You know, maybe I don't think it quite has arrived with us tomorrow, but there will definitely be a lot of people that are kind of saying, well, look at the amazing season they've had. They're the only team that's beat Liverpool. They're at home. They're playing better than ever. Like, could you call them favorites kind of thing? Maybe that will get to their heads. Hopefully that will get to their heads. That's what I'm hoping. You know, as they start thinking, Jesus, people actually expect us to win this game. You know, and that can be a turning point with some of these teams where they all of a sudden people stop talking about them as the underdog team, and they just say, oh, they start saying, oh, well, they should be beating them. They should be beating them. It's like, hang on a minute, 18 months ago we were in 18th. You know, so maybe that kind of can get to them a bit psychologically. Hopefully it does. You know, that pressure of there's actually a few people who expect us to beat this Liverpool team.
Yeah, but for me, who's willing to take a bet that who says these guys will get relegated in the next 3 years? I reckon. Like they're gonna do a Leicester or something, you know, have a great season and then vanish. That's what's gonna happen with these guys.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'm not scared
sure.
I think I'm the only one who's not really worried about Forest. Like I'm pretty sort of eager to get on with it and just beat them. Like I'm really positive about this game. But I think I'm on my own.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when.
I don't see a walkover. I don't see a 3-0. I don't see anything like that. I see a really tough game. Is at least at the very least, I see a really tough game. I'm just trying to find an angle, wondering not just against us, but at some point this season, the narrative, as they say, is word to use, but will change a bit. Forest, they'll go from being plucky underdogs to being, oh, well, they should be beating these guys. They should be beating them. And that's a different kind of pressure on a team. And that can crack a team. So hopefully, I wouldn't mind a few players go out there tomorrow and actually, do crack under the pressure of being expected to do something.
We shall see. We shall see. I was just trying to see if that statistic I had is accurate. Because there's a statistic that our head-to-head matchup against Forest. Forest has 60 wins. Liverpool have 32 wins and 29 draws. That can't be right. That can't be right. I'll have to double check that one.
Yeah, that can't be right.
That's a lot of wins.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll say Bernadette and Rasta Crab are with me. They say we're going to beat them. Yeah.
Just beating them and slapping them, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can see us winning it, but we're not going to go there and beat them 3-4-0.
I'm not really bothered, Brian. I'm more.
No, but I'm just trying to explain to Crab as well. I'm just saying that's what I mean. Like, we might win the game, but I don't expect us to go there and just go, geez, that was an easy 3-0 for Liverpool. I just expect a really tough game.
Well, we shall certainly find out pretty soon. Certainly.
Crab going big.
Crab going 3 or 4-0. Wow.
Huh?
Come now.
That's what I like
Beat
about.
down. There you go, Ross the Crab. Watch out. Fire starter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bit of confidence.
Are
I like
you?
that.
If you are doing a watch along, Crab, let us know. I'm assuming you are doing a watch along.
Yes, definitely,
If
Crab.
you are,
Tell us if you
let us
are.
know, and Bernie can put the link in the chat for your channel. Not that everybody isn't subscribed already, but
Yeah. That's something. See if I can find out. 1 second. We have like 5 more minutes to show here. See if I can find out real quick. This one.
okay.
What's
No
it called?
worries. No worries.
So like
Oh,
tonight
no,
are going to
no.
be 2 guys who sort of fresh. Hope they get with the program pretty quick. I don't want them to be wandering around and stuff. I want them to be banged straight on it. Because Sabotzo and Kanate haven't really played in the last 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they look to test us. I do want to see if that statistic was right, because that sounds so weirdly high for them. It's only about 6 matches. I'll have to see. Anyways, we are not doing a watch along. I haven't really done watch alongs other than like I think I've done a couple watch alongs for like my U.S. men's national team. And I've done a watch along. I've done watch alongs before.
I don't like them.
I don't know if I've done any on the show. I don't know. I don't think I've done any on here for Liverpool per se. It's tough. Sometimes the watch alongs can be tough. I give you a lot of credit, Crab, for dealing with it, because sometimes some of the rhetoric that you see and hear by some of the keyboard warriors out there is pretty difficult to stomach. So but yeah. But yeah, big up for the streets showing some love and blessing us with an appearance. Big up to Bernie. Big up to John Conway. Big up to Cedric was in the house again. Big up to Robert as well. Mark A. Red Armchair supporter. Make sure I give a shout. Jimmy was here. Jimmy showed some love by giving a little thumbs up with my 2025 prediction, possibly. And Hylor was here. Big up to him as well. Make sure I didn't forget anyone. I think that's pretty much all that chimed in, at least. Philly Liverpool FC, my homie from Philadelphia area. Trudon was here as well. And
Hylor.
Hi, I said I think I said Hylor, but if I didn't, Hylor.
Robert McQuire was here.
Yep. Said what's up to Robert too. See Robert chiming in right here now. Big up. Appreciate the fact that you guys have showed the love to definitely, hopefully, click that like, maybe drop a comment after the stream goes, the stream ends. Really would appreciate that. Show some love by just saying hello, or saying your analysis of the game, or telling us what you think about the prospects of the game, or whatever you want to talk about. You can always just add in that comment section, and chances are we will find a way to get back and comment back to you. But anything you guys want to say before we allow for the people to do what they need to do on this Monday? JK?
Check out the roll call. Check out the roll call show an hour before the kickoff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be 8 o'clock UK time.
Wait,
I think 9 o'clock. No.
No, the game's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 p.m. UK.
7 p.m. UK. Yeah, so same time we normally you normally look for us to be live 7 o'clock hour. we will be live and direct with a roll call, so you guys can tell us what you guys are doing for the game, and the likes. The game is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, mate.
Bernie. The game is tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a game Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, and be sure if you are a part of the fantasy league, be sure to get your lineup set.
Oh yeah.
This is your shout to do that. Crab,
yeah.
I see that Rusty Crab's team is slowly but surely getting higher in the standings. His team is actually doing pretty well. So yeah,
8 o'clock tomorrow night, B. Yeah, B would probably been out making a curry or something, and halfway through the game she'd find out it was on.
Yeah, well, no, that would not be good. But yeah, be sure to get your lineup set. I know that. Let me see where I saw where Crab's
climbing, is he?
No, he's climbing up the charts. Yeah, he's climbing up the charts, and it's not really that much that separates the top from the bottom. Once again, JK definitely has.
Would you take care of that admin?
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Now that second team sits atop the league, by the way. So
yeah, I will tell you what happened with that one.
Pissed. He's gonna be pissed. I don't know if Crab or any of those guys know who that is, but yeah, Mark A is in second place, Robbie's in third, Barry or Bonkers is in fourth. He's KJ's in fifth place. Our former leader for a good majority of the season has slipped all the way down to sixth place.
That's terrible.
Yeah, JK is in sixth place. Well, it's better than he did before then. Now he's moved up to sixth place. He was even further down than that.
Yeah, had a bad few weeks. Had a bad few weeks, but the last 2 weeks have been banging. Like I've been getting up there. Like I think I got most points in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but, yeah, man. It's on, man. It's on.
Daz is in seventh place. I'm still stuck on 8. Ian's at 9th. Bayesian Barnes has had a really good week, actually. Last week was a good weekend for him. He moves up to 10th. Really good week for Rasta Crab, too. He had 82 points last week. And sits only 4 points behind 10th place. So he's about to join the
Champions League places.
The upper part of the table here. Your nephew JK is in 12th place. James with the Slatas is in 13th place. Chris is in 14th place, but he is up to 14th place. St. Alman Burt is in 15th place. Cyber Power in 16th place. And Trigger and Honesty are in 17th and 18th place. They're in the relegation zone. But all the same, hopefully they might have given up a little bit. I'm not certain if they've given up on their teams or not. I hope they haven't. Honesty might have, because he's a ways back. But I think Trigger is still involved in it because he's not that far back out of 16th place. But yeah, be sure to get your lineups done and put in. Tomorrow is the deadline for the upcoming week. I'm going to be making my little additions and subtractions as well. And keep on fighting on. But we are going to be ending today's show here. I don't know, Crab, do you guys have a show today by any chance? Do you have a show? If you can, hopefully Rasta's still with us. Do you have a show today? And if you do, tell us about it. Make sure to tell us when and what time you have it set. No show for today. Okay. No
show.
All right. Just making sure.
I was going to say Crab was off busy checking the league to see what he can do.
Yeah, right.
What he can take out.
No, we need it. I definitely need. I need this. I need a big. The Bajan boys are busy. Got you. I definitely need a big week this week from my team. Get this final push, get into that top 4 at least.
Just quickly for context, How many points is JK off first? No, I'm calling him first, Mark A. I'm not calling the guy that's about to get his ass kicked out of the game. So, like, and just in terms of like, because I know JK's around.
JK is only 36 points off of first place.
That's fine. That's a good league. That's a good competitive league. Then that's one good week. One good week can change your
one good week.
position.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying Rasta Crab, Bajan Barnes, Ian's team, Daz's team, James's team. We're all like within shooting range of being able to get in there, to get into that top 4, if not get into that top slot, which is what we're all shooting for here. It is a very because Mark A's got 1,237 points. Robbie and Robbie's team has 1,231 points. Bonkers has 1,217 points. KJ has 1,213 points. JK has 1,201 points. So we're all like within that grouping is very close, very close. That's why there's a lot of movement up and down in the table, depending on how the week goes. So,
yep.
I got this stage of the season. I think if I was playing now, anything up to 100 points is catchable. If someone's 100 points ahead of me, it's going to be a wee bit difficult. It's doable, but anything under 100 points, it sounds like a lot. But like anybody, it's still catchable. It's difficult, but 30, 40, this stage of the season, anything within 100, I'd say I could catch that. You'd have to play well. They'll have to drop a few points, but anything in the 30s and the 40s, that's 2 good weeks for you, 2 bad weeks for them, and you're 10 points ahead of them.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep.
But it has to happen for you. So keep on top of it with these kind of midweek games and shit. Just keep on top of it.
Yeah. It's
random deadlines all over the place.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird deadlines when it comes to the weeks that are involved in January. You know, you have like midweek games and you have a weekend game, and that's 2 different weeks. So yeah, you definitely have to keep an eye on that. So, but we're going to end it though right now, but doesn't have to be. I was going to say I would tell you to go to Rastas or Bajan Barnes, but they don't have a show. So if you do go on to another channel, definitely bring the same energy, bring the same love, and definite commitment towards the team and towards each other. In that, hopefully we can change the world one red at a time. How about that? That's a little bit of too soapy of a moment, I guess. But anyway, are you still in the cup game? I think so. I think that you mean
that kicks in.
You mean we haven't done one. You mean what was the Anfield Cup that we did? That was a lot of fun when we did that.
That was cool, man. I won that one.
Thank you for reminding us. Actually, it's better that you did remind us, because Chris was like running away with that one. If Chris had won, we would have never heard the end of it. By the way,
I kept it calm, bro. I kept it calm. I'm not even said it. I think it's the first time I said it since then. Yeah, if Chris won, boy.
Yeah, take your time with it. Take your time with it. Is that how it goes? Isn't that how the Gooners like to say before they end up bottling something? No, big up to everyone. Definitely have a good night, morning or evening, whichever this show is catching you on. Again, we will definitely be in touch tomorrow for roll call. Hopefully you'll be along with us. And yeah, let us all just have a good day, and anything, up the Reds, people, up the Reds as always. Definitely take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for roll call. Hour before the game, roll call. All right. See you guys tomorrow.